I was not going to buy this book. My son bought the book and I borrowed it from him, or he gave it to me to read. Skinbreakers, Robert Kirkman. This dude is like a master Jedi when it comes to writing some intriguing stories. I mean, this dude can do no wrong. He knows what he's doing. He's doing it right. And all I can say is kudos. And Image Comics, I'll tell you what, Image Comics is probably publishing right now some of the best looking comic books amongst all the publishers. They are putting out some of the best, hands down. I don't know what it is. I don't know if everyone just wants to publish through Image. That might be what it is. I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to get into this article. I'm going to show some panels from this book, but I wanted to get into this article from Forbes about this very book. Robert Kirkman's savage new project, Skinbreakers, is a visual masterpiece. And let me tell you, the detailed drawings, pencil work in this book is very well done. This article was actually published a little bit ago, August 15th, written by Robert Salkowitz. What happens when creator of some of the most bankable comic-based properties of the 21st century gives one of the best artists in the business an unlimited amount of time to build a lush alien world of intrigue and action? We'll find out on September 24th. Now, obviously, the date has come, and I've read the book. When Robert Kirkman's The Walking Dead and Invincible releases his years in the making collaboration with Eisner Award-winning artist David Finch, The New Avengers, Batman, an 8-issue limited series called Skinbreaker from Kirkman's Skybound Entertainment imprint. This dude has built himself an empire. I've heard his story. I can't remember the exact details, but it didn't start out all good. I want to say he had a humble beginning is an understatement. I want to say he had some issues to start and to build this empire that he's built. Kudos to you, sir. This is an inspiration. Skinbreaker is set on a primordial world where the tribal society teeters on the brink of collapse as an aging leader loses his grip on power and control of the powerful Skinbreaker artifact that comes with it. That comes with it. Conflicts brewing within the warrior culture threaten to rip the world apart. Fans of Kirkman's ability to bring human conflict and drama into an already perilous situation will find a lot to like about this new story. Even if it's set light years away from the post-apocalyptic landscape of The Walking Dead, but the real delight of Skinbreaker is the line work of David Finch. And let me tell you, this is something me and my youngest son had a conversation about. Oftentimes, and you've heard me mention this before, you'll get a cover and the pencil work on that cover will be so magnificent. But then you get to the book and you think to yourself, what happened between the book and what I'm reading right here? Because this isn't the same thing. Well, I'm here to tell you, Skinbreaker delivers exactly as this article says. David Finch did a killer job, accompanied by the interactive color art of Annalisa Leoni. Every panel and every page are so luxuriously rendered that Skybound is offering a deluxe oversize edition for fans who want to appreciate every detail. And I've looked at some of those oversized editions. Yeah, they're going for a pretty penny right now. When people say comics are a visual medium, this is what they're talking about. And look, this is what I say all the time. Comics are meant to be enjoyed visually. If you have an artist that is not ready or barely ready, they should not be on major titles. I am sticking to my guns on this. There's a lot of artists who are good, they're decent, but they're not good enough to be on these major titles, and they need some more practice before they can continue with their work, because this book, oh my goodness, yeah. It was definitely done well. One reason we rarely see graphic novels, much less periodical comics, drawn with this much care and craft is that deadlines and production schedules don't permit it. But what if deadlines didn't apply and the publisher could afford to wait as long as it takes for the artist to be satisfied with the results? And look, this can't always be done. I don't need perfection. This, I'll tell you, Skinbreaker is near perfection as far as art. But if the quality was slightly less, it would still be a visual masterpiece. But I understand being in the position that, Kirkman is in with his company and all the gobs of money he's made over the years. Time doesn't matter to him. You can take as long as needed to make a book. He can afford that time. Not everybody can afford that. How long? According to Finch, 8 years to complete the 8 24-page issues plus covers and incidental art. Wow, 8 years. Yo, that's crazy. But I can tell you, I will say this. Those 8 years, you can tell they definitely took their time and did this right. So I'll say 8 years. Yeah, I see it. I understand. You're doing your thing. You're doing your thing. It took an embarrassing amount of time. It really did, said Finch in an interview. He and Kirkman gave ahead of the release of the first issue. I had the chance to put everything into it with every page. So it got very carried away and took a very long time to do. And look, I'm here to tell you, you can see it. You can definitely see why it took so long. It took exactly as long as needed, said Kirkman, who also serves as Skybound's chief creative officer. I met David briefly when we were both working at Marvel and was a fan of his work going back to the early 1990s. So the idea of working with him is something I was very excited about. I wanted to do a visually centric idea that would be worthy of him and he would enjoy drawing. Because I figure if I can enjoy writing it and he enjoys drawing it, then readers are going to enjoy reading it. My goodness, I wish this would be the mentality of all mainstream creators. I really do. Because he delivered. Looking at the cover, I can tell this is a great book. But it also looks like something I may or may not be interested in. But with that said, I started out, one of the first comic books I read when I started reading comic books was Conan. And this reminded me a lot of Conan. So I appreciate it. Kirkman says his primary inspiration for the story was Mad Max. I could tell. Fury Road. The savage and visually stunning 2015 Charlize Theron film that revitalized the Road Warrior franchise. I don't know if I'd say it revitalized. Well, I can't say. I haven't seen it. I've heard mixed reviews. As a story, Skinbreaker is deceptively simple, but reveals a larger and richer world that has some deep meaning behind it, said Kirkman. It had a nice pop-up propulsion to it that moves you from one thing to the next. But as you're going through the story, you're finding so much more about each individual character and the world that they inhabit. There are things in the story that get hinted at and dialogue that indicate more story that we never actually nailed down. So there are things that you're going to learn about the world where the reader will get to finish out the interpretation. And I like that. I like stories that lead you along slightly, but leave some things left for you to do some guessing and some fan theories about. This is one of the enjoyable things about comic books. I don't need you to tell me everything. Just give me enough to maintain interest. Finch says he contributed character designs and ideas around the look of the world, but generally left the stories aside to Kirkman. I believe when you work with somebody who is an expert at what they do and the genius of what they do, I keep my mouth shut. He said, I tried to limit everything that I was doing just to the visualization. And it was amazing to see that that had an impact. It was very gratifying. Skinbreakers number 1 through 8 will be available in comic shops and on digital platforms, including Amazon Kindle, Apple Books, Google Play on Wednesday, September 24th for $4.99 standard edition, $14.99 for the oversized treasure edition. It as a customary in the comics periodical market, there are 10 cover variants available for artists from artists including Finch, Tony Moore, Lorenzo De Felici, Eric Canty, and Ryan Otley that customers can order through their retailer. And let me tell you, so now after going over all of that, I'm not going to read through the whole book, but I wanted to show you some of the panels. And you get to see this level of detail. Yeah, Finch took his time because there is not a single square inch of this splash panel that is not riddled with detail. It is everywhere. You can tell he took painstaking time to do this. Let me see. I want to go to one of the and the colors fit the world. These panels are absolutely incredible. Incredible. And I can see why it took so long to do these books. You know, he took his sweet time and got everything down as close as he possibly can. This is great. This is great. I'll end with that last panel right there. This is, I mean, I don't know what to say. I was so impressed as I was reading this book that internally, I said to myself, this is one of the greatest visual books. I tell you what, Image has been knocking it out the park with the things that they have been publishing. The stuff that they're publishing from Ghost Machine Comics, the Rook Exodus. When I tell you Rook Exodus has some of the most dynamic art that I've seen in any comic book in years, Rook Exodus is mind-boggling good. The Rockefellers, another good one. Geiger, I haven't kept up with all of them. I've kept up more with Rook Exodus than I have the others, but I have been, getting some back issues and getting caught up. But man, things at Image seem to be going good as far as the things they're putting out. And this book right here, Kirkman did it again. This dude is batting 1,000.